in this story in the Sun-Times today, the subheadline says, if rat poison doesn't work, try a 9-iron. That's the thinking of the Chicago Bureau of Rodent Control, where workers use spears, shovels, and golf clubs to hammer rats to death in the city's war on rodents. According to one of the workers, if we see them alive, we club them right then and there. We don't waste any time. How do you get close enough to club them? Don't they run away from you?
Well, I have an example of that. I was a youngster living on the far south side, and I was standing on 119th Street across from my father's dry cleaners, and a rat ran from the side I was on across the street and then started to run up the brick wall. And a guy chased the rat with a rolled-up newspaper, and when it got up on the side of the wall, because it can climb, he beat the thing to death as it clung to the wall, and then it just dropped like a limp dish rag. So,
ouch.
I'm getting nauseous thinking about this right now. I don't know if I'm the only one. Maybe it was just my sandwich didn't go down well.
His rat sandwich? What?
The Daily Administration claims it successfully kept the rat population at less than 500,000 and points to an 8% decrease in rat complaints to 311 so far this year. Well, that's because when you call 311, they're writing your complaint in the air with an imaginary pen.
Yeah, we'll get right on it. That's, what, one rat for every 6 people? Or 2 people, or what? 500,000?
It's a lot of people.
How many do we have in the city now? 3 million people?
Yeah.
Think about it.
6 people.
At any given time, the rats and the cockroaches are just waiting to take over if we didn't constantly poison them.
That's right. It's us against them.
I don't believe it's 500,000. I believe it's
what
a lot
do you believe?
More than that. Because I got in the alley in back of where I used to live, just within the last year, there were right under L tracks. There were it was like Rat City. It was Value City for rats.
Okay, and that's just part of the 500,000. There used to be, 2 million? 20 years ago? I think they had 2 million rats.
When we had that whole super rat thing around 1980.
They said they had 20-foot rats in the sewers.
Right, and these rats could jump. They said a rat could jump off the Sears Tower, land on a little old lady, kill her, and then run on and do other things.
And a lot of those rats smoked. They would actually smoke cigarettes. They were so tough.
Right, and wear fedoras. They look like mobsters hanging around corners.
And had briefcases.
According to the Streets and Sand Commissioner, Al Sanchez, the mayor absolutely hates rats.
Yeah, I really hate them.
We don't take complaints lightly. They have laid rat poison on 33,000 blocks worth of alleys in the city of Chicago.
33,000 blocks.
33,000 blocks.
Of alleys.
Yeah. On Monday night, rodent control workers followed up on a Lakeview resident's claim of spotting 30 rats, despite having baited the alley in the 700 block of West Barry 3 times in the last month. They decided that they wanted, one of the city workers decided that she wanted to see the rats herself. So they arrived at 9 p.m. armed with glue traps, a spear, a shovel, and a golf club. We waited in the dark, she said. And I'm going to do that voice because that's a city worker voice anyway. They were moving slow because of the bait. Then we spooked them with flashlights and got them to run onto the glue. There we hit them with club sticks and even a rake.
The humanity.
5 rodents dead. Ms. Cruz says she was squeamish at first about handling the rats, but now doesn't even know how many rats she's killed in the 3 years she's worked for rodent control. This is funny. This is like the Vietnam of rats here. She's in country with the rats. She's got a bayonet. She's got the bandolier.
She's lost count. It's so many.
And a do-rag wrapped around her head. She's going out in country. She'll take care of it.
She's the Rambo of rats.
Rodent control workers aren't the only ones who've gotten brutal with the beasts. Lakeview resident Peter Nilsson has gone from watching rats as a spectator sport to actually participating in a blood sport. Initially, he tried to find humor in the pack of rats that each evening at 8 o'clock invade the lower walkways of his apartment complex, climbing walls, jumping out of trash bins, and even scaling 3-story mulberry tree outside his balcony. He would host rat parties. Well, that's got to play Sinatra.
On his back porch. Now, again,
I
hope he just stayed within a few people, because over 50, that's a trouble thing.
But then things soured on the 4th of July when 2 rats jumped on his chest and climbed down his back.
Suddenly the rat party wasn't so much fun.
He called City Hall to complain. When the rats kept coming, he took matters into his own hands. This is like Willard. He would hurl bricks at the critters. He slayed 2 of them that way. I was just freaking out, he said. I hate to kill animals. I volunteer at the zoo, but enough is enough.
But I can't have them crawling down my back during a rat party. Steve, you're on WLS. Hi.
Hi, guys. Yeah, the building there at 700 West Barry is, I rent a unit in the building. And just so you know, my aunt was in town from Detroit over the weekend, and she would sit out front on the front stoop and smoke cigarettes, and she would come in screaming that she saw rats, and I thought, no, wait a minute.
Get him off my hair! Get him off my hair!
You're from Detroit.
Yeah, you should be used to this.
Yeah.
My God.
But
isn't that right off of Sheridan?
No, it's right there, Barry, Halstead, and Clark, right in the middle of the high rent, huh?
Okay.
And I would go to put the trash cans away in the middle of the day, and they would run across the sidewalk. So, luckily over the weekend the city did come in, and we'll see what happens. But
why do you have so many? Is there a lot of garbage just strewn about, as
right
they say?
Yeah, right there, 735 Barry. There's an alley, and then it goes on to.
Well, that's a really interesting little area right there, that triangle, because that's the 3 streets converging.
Yeah,
is where there's a lot of business. There's a lot of restaurants, and then residential areas, and it doesn't look like it. That looks like who's responsible for it?